Once upon a time, in the city of Asaba, Delta State, there lived Mr. and Mrs. Chigozie. They had longed for a child for so many years. They waited, prayed, kept trying, and finally, God blessed them with not just one, but two healthy babies after hours of labor. A set of identical twins. They were named Chioma and Chiamaka. Their joy knew no bounds. To the world, Chioma and Chiamaka were exactly the same. Same curly hair, same bright eyes, same smile. But at home, they were made to feel completely different. Chioma is the smart one. She loves reading so much. She will definitely be a doctor, their mother would say. Well, Chiamaka is the pretty one, but she loves to play a lot. I'm sure she would marry a very rich man. So, from childhood, comparison became commands, and love from parents began to look like a competition. In primary school, when Chioma came first in class, their mother praised her with cooked jollof rice and shiny hair beads just to encourage her. "That's my brilliant girl," she said. "Keep it up, Chioma." But when Chiamaka came third, she got, "Your sister got first. Why can't you be more like her? You're not brilliant at all. All you know how to do is play and play and play." But then, a compulsory dance competition was held in school, and Chiamaka, a very good cultural dancer, always smiled, was selected for the dance competition. As she performed, her dad sat in the crowd unimpressed, uninterested, like he was forced to be there. But when Chiamaka sighted him from the stage, she was innocently happy her father was there for her. At the end of the competition, Chiamaka won first place. The crowd clapped. Her father frowned. When they got home, both Chioma and Chiamaka celebrated. But then, the scolding and comparison began. "Your sister is reading science textbooks, getting good scores, and you're shaking your waist in public. This is the last time you will ever disgrace me and this family," their father said. And so, things began to change between both girls. But no one noticed. Resentment began to creep in slowly. Yet, it didn't stop. When Chiamaka got her first period before Chioma, her father asked her angrily, "Why are you developing so fast, like you want to chase men?" Chiamaka was shocked and speechless, wondering why he was so angry at her over what she couldn't control, instead of being empathic. When Chioma got pimples during puberty, "Why can't you take care of your face like Chiamaka?" he said. It seemed like nothing both girls ever did could make them happy. So, as they grew older, the girls began to resent each other, looking for perfection to be their father's favorites. Constant arguments and fights started. The shared room became a Cold War zone. Every smile masked bitterness. Every hug felt like a strategy. By the time they reached university, they could barely talk without fighting. Chioma studied medicine at Delta State University, while Chiamaka studied theater arts at Uniport. Chioma, as usual, was serious with her academics, withdrawn, obsessed with achievements, and making her parents proud. But Chiamaka, on the other hand, was vibrant, social, very intelligent, but somehow secretly insecure. Each of them believed the other had it easier. One Christmas, at the family gathering, their father jokingly said, "Chioma, our own medical doctor, our pride, the brain of the family." They all smiled, but Chiamaka's eyes stung. That night, in their room, Chiamaka whispered, "I wish I wasn't your twin. I wish you weren't even born." And Chioma replied coldly, "Then maybe I will finally be enough for my parents." After that holiday, Chioma returned to school to focus on her final year projects, while Chiamaka also returned to school to focus on friends at the final year university party. In their final year, something happened that broke everything. Chiamaka started dating a guy named Tony, a charming business student from her school. They were so in love, or so she thought. So, one family holiday, Chiamaka brought Tony to meet with her family. When Tony met Chioma, he stared a bit too long and smiled a bit too hard. Chioma, on the other hand, reciprocated like he was a man. Chiamaka noticed this move. She was upset, but she kept it together, hoping to address it with Tony after the event. But much later, that same day, just as Tony left the family event, he texted Chioma saying, "You are not like your sister. You are special." Chioma happily read the message as she felt butterflies in her tummy for her twin sister's man. Later, Chiamaka, who had been suspicious, found out about Tony's flirty text to her sister, and she confronted her immediately. "Chioma, I noticed you took Tony's number all this while from my phone, but I feel so disappointed to know that he texted you and you didn't rebuke him. Instead, you smiled happily, even after introducing you to him for the first time today. Why can't you get your own man and leave mine?" she said. Chioma replied, "Nothing physical happened. It's just a text." But Chiamaka didn't care. She accused Chioma of trying to steal him. She slapped her in public right there at the family event. Chioma wept and for the first time shouted, "It's not just about Tony. You hate me because our parents praised me more, but I never asked for it." And so, she left the party and they stopped talking completely. They both returned to their different schools. Chiamaka laid awake at night in tears, alone in her hostel, as she tried to get over Tony's betrayal. Months passed. Chiamaka stopped attending family events. Only Chioma was present. Their parents never asked questions. Everyone just moved on with their lives. No one bothered. When Chioma graduated, Chiamaka wasn't present, and after graduation, she went off to medical school in Abuja. Then, the call came. Chiamaka had been involved in a car accident while driving. A drunk driver, bad timing, critical condition. Her father, while receiving the call, dashed out in a hurry to the hospital, and her mother followed, both shocked at the news they had just received. Chioma also rushed down to the hospital to meet up with her parents as soon as she was told. Meanwhile, Chiamaka laid there on the hospital bed, badly injured and unconscious. Her family felt devastated as they were not allowed to go into her room. But the next day, Chioma was allowed to go see her sister. Yet, Chiamaka remained unconscious in breathing tubes, still fighting for her life. Chioma sat beside her and whispered, "I am so sorry, Chiamaka. Truly sorry." The next day, Chioma and her parents met with Dr. Sule to discuss Chiamaka's progress. But it was a sad news, as Dr. Sule said. She may never walk again. It's a miracle she's alive and even here with us. Chioma broke down. She remembered the silly dances, the inside jokes, the way they used to switch places to confuse teachers, the childhood bedtime stories. "Forgive me, Chiamaka," she whispered beside her bed. "Not as a twin, but as your other half." Her parents also felt a kind of heaviness and guilt in their hearts as they realized how badly they treated their children, the very gift they once prayed and waited for years. A week later, Chioma, who had visited Chiamaka every day since the accident and had monitored her too as a medical doctor, stood by her crying and praying. Later in the day, miraculously, Chiamaka opened her eyes. Finally, Chiamaka was awake. Chioma cried so much, she almost lost the only sister she ever had. Chioma shed tears of joy seeing her twin sister awake and slightly able to sit with the help of doctors and nurses. Tears fell before words did, but the silence between them was finally honest. They began to talk again. Their parents, watching from the side, felt the weight of the years of favoritism they had caused. "We didn't raise you right," their mother said. "We made you feel like love was something to win." "We are sorry," her father said. "We are deeply sorry. We almost lost you. Please forgive us." Months passed, and Chiamaka was discharged, and she began physical therapy in a clinic her sister Chioma had referred. There, she met other women who had encountered traumatic events and were in the process of healing. Chioma postponed her residency to help her sister heal. In the process, they relearned each other and they became a team again. No longer Chioma the smart one and Amaka the pretty one. Just Chioma and Amaka, whole and healing, relearning each other all over. Weeks later, they held a family meeting where their parents apologized tearfully for the years of favoritism and the hatred they unknowingly built between their girls. Years later, Chiamaka was finally healed, no longer using the wheelchair. They launched a foundation called the Mirror Sister Project for girls struggling with identity, helping twins, sisters, and daughters find self-worth beyond comparison. And whenever people now ask, who is the smarter one or who is more beautiful, they both smile and say, we don't compare mirrors, we clean them to reflect clearly. This story teaches us that comparison is a thief, not just of joy, but of identity. Even identical faces hide completely different souls. Favoritism in family creates wounds that love alone can't heal, only accountability can. Siblings aren't meant to compete, they are meant to complement. And finally, that healing starts with honesty, even if it takes years. What do you think about this story? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.